Hello, and thank you, Marlene, so much for coming and joining me on A Curious Coach. And I'm going to pass it straight over to you because I can't wait to learn and be inspired by your story. I've loved the fact that we've connected. So please just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your personal journey and what led you to where you are today.
All right. So thank you so much for having me here. Hello, you all. I'm Marlene. I am currently in Germany, originally from Germany as well. And how would I introduce myself? I am someone that loves supporting other people, especially in connecting with their bodies and in connecting with their own inner power and in like believing in themselves. That's really something that I love doing. And otherwise, I'm a very curious being. I love dancing. I love singing. I don't know. I love cooking as well. Health is something that's very important to me. So and I love traveling. I recently just came back from Spain. So yeah, I'm really loving the world. And that's how I would describe me in a very brief sentence. Now, well, more than one sentence. Now, regarding the personal story, that's a long one. I always find it so hard when people ask me that because I can see so many storylines, so many different storylines that make up a human being. And I have several ones. It's like one storyline goes around work and stress at work. That's definitely one of my passion areas as well. And I've had a journey where I was super stressed out, so much that I really hurt my body in a very intense way. I used to call myself the queen of stress. And I really shifted that. So that's part of my story. I also have a story of a mild eating disorder and really creating peace with myself, with my emotions, and with my body, and loving my body and really enjoying how it moves, enjoying what she's able to do and really connecting to that strength and power within. One of my storylines is also around similar to health, but more in this area of health and family, having quite interesting journeys with my family and them struggling with their health or being challenged with their health. And that's also one thing that really influenced my life massively, and has influenced who I am now. And so I don't know, what would you think, which storyline should I dive more into that's like more interesting for you guys and for your...
So I would put it to you, which one are you drawn to? A Curious Coach is about inspiring, and everything you've just said will inspire someone, and it gives us a great excuse to connect down the line to share more. So I am going to put it back to you, as you are the guest.
Yeah.
Which one are you drawn to? Which one really resonates with you right now?
Well, maybe it's like more because they all very deeply resonate. But what they all have in common is really this journey from being very disconnected from my body, like be it with the stress at work, not noticing how stressed I was, going into work and literally cutting off. And I had like always belly aches at work and so many issues with my belly and with my head as well. And I was just like disconnected and just working up from here without even noticing it. So there was literally this gap in my body. And the same goes really with the body image and eating disorders, like such a huge disconnect to and like hate of what the body looked like, and really not liking what I was seeing even. So there was a disconnect. And with health, personal one, but also the one from my family, it's really all around it's also the disconnect from the body, but it's more from the strength of the body. It's like knowing the healing capacities that the body has and really believing in that and knowing my own power with that I can heal myself and also other people can, and not buying into the I don't even know how I would call that, like premature grieving stage. I mean, of course, there's a grieving situation all the time around health. When you lose your health, there is grief involved there. But that doesn't mean that that defines you and that the health or a disease would define you. So I would say it's really that. It's the connection to the body that is kind of like key to all of them. And I really transformed that, like being embodied, like even the way I'm sitting now, noticing my bum, having the shoulders down. So there's a very strong bond with my body by now. And all of my journeys, they started with a huge disconnect from that. And all of them have been, I don't want to say resolved, because it's like an ongoing journey, of course. And I'm not a superhero neither. So, but there have been so many transformations that came through the wisdom of the body, through the connection with the body. And it's, yeah, I honor the body. I said body now 10,000 times in the last minute. It's like, for me, it's really the body, and being embodied is something so precious that I really value.
That is incredible. And wow, I think something I'm now curious, okay? You mentioned the word disconnect, and I would like to know, is there a key moment that you suddenly became aware that you were disconnected with your body?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think there have been multiple minor moments of awareness, and they keep on coming. Like, oh no, why there too? So they keep on coming, but there's definitely been different stages of my journey. Like, there has been what I call a bit the unconscious stage, and that was like, there was a stage where I was unconscious and I was fully running after my programs. That was definitely in university times. That was the time when I said I really hurt my body. Like, I stressed out so much. To all the teeth grinders, there are solutions here. To all the ones with neck issues and shoulders, please reach out. Because I literally had, like, I walked around for 1 year with a jaw that was locked because of stress. So there was definitely that awareness. There's like something in the body is not working properly. But back then I was like, okay, this is just how it's supposed to be now. From now on, it's just going to go down. Somehow I had, without being aware of it, I had this, I can't even explain that. It's like my body, my being just said, stop this. And so after my studies, everything went down. Like, I had my thesis breakup, moving 3 times. Like, it was hugely stressful for me. And after that, I was just like, I need to go. I need to leave Germany. I need to be somewhere else. And so I did. And that wasn't with me being aware of that disconnection yet. And so I went to travel, and I remember this one day in Costa Rica where I woke up and I was like, I'm not experiencing pain right now. I don't have pain in my jaw. I don't have pain in my neck. I don't have a headache. It's gone. And so that was really like something really went a little bit off when I was still studying. And then when I came back from that first travel, I was like, I'm not done yet. I need to go somewhere else again. And so I went to other countries, one of them Bali, the other, Indonesia, the island Bali, and then Thailand as well. And that journey really helped me to open up my mind to see different cultures, but also to see different ways of approaching, like health, for instance, or work. Definitely work. It's like I was surrounded by digital nomads, and I was like, oh my God. It's like, you can work location independent, and you can define your own work. So it's kind of like bit by bit, I was waking up to these things. And then in Thailand, I met my trainer, who I learned this technique from that is all around embodiment and stress release and trauma release. And that really was a massive change too. That was like, wow, my body has so much wisdom that I didn't even know. And I'm like, it can do things that I really like 100% unaware of. And that was really then the initiation of something where I was like, okay, this is something deeper is there. And again, without me being 100% aware of it, I just followed it because that was where I was drawn to. And yeah, then I became a provider, and it's like, then I started coaching, and then it's like my entire life literally changed with that. And just FYI, I studied advertising and brand strategy and market communication all around advertising. So it's really a complete turnaround in what I've been doing. And it's even today, there are still moments in which I wake up to that connection that is there, and I wasn't aware of it. Like, it's kind of like, it's like I don't know, it just creates on, it just expands, it keeps on expanding. Let's put it like that. It keeps on deepening that bond. And that's the beauty of it.
That is beautiful. And I've actually sat here with shivers listening to you about, and I think part of it is because it resonated to me in the traveling and finding yourself. But the fact that we live in a world where the norm is to have the clenched teeth, the tight neck, the shoulders by the ears, and listening to you suddenly going, there was something pulling me. I went to these amazing places and saw that there's an alternative way of work, an alternative way to approach health. That's so empowering. So thank you for being honest about that, because although we live in a big world of people trying to be honest, sometimes it still gets missed in communication. And anyone listening and watching, it's really important to get that message across, that there are alternative ways of living and being. So thank you very much. So on that beautiful journey of reconnecting with yourself and finding methods to really understand your body's power, what have been your biggest successes? You know, you touched on your barriers partly, so if you've got more, please share. But what have been your biggest successes?
That's a good question, because I think for me, one of the journeys that I had to go through is really owning my successes and honoring them and seeing them. So it's a good question to ask. I think the successes that I'm celebrating most definitely goes around self-belief and knowing what I'm doing, like knowing what I'm here for. It's like, what is it that sparks my joy? What is it that gives me energy? What is it that I would love to do every single day? Not that that's obviously going to change at some point in form, because I really am a strong believer that everyone has their own definition of life, and that changes on a daily basis. But it's definitely this, like, believing fully in myself. I think that was, and I know that that's more like an internal success, but it's been a massive one, because for me, the story of worthiness, self-doubting myself, finding myself ugly and disgusting, those were very dominant in my life's journey. And so now really saying that, no, I know that I'm gonna be successful in the work that I'm doing. I already am successful in the work that I'm doing. I'm gonna support so many people, and I can say that fully embodied, and I know that that's true. So that's huge, and that's where my goosebumps kick in. So that's definitely one success. And the way how it really translates into my life is more just me launching my coaching business. That was massive. Having my first clients book journeys with me, that was just like crazy good. And just seeing that it keeps on happening and I keep on growing. And also really seeing that I think one of the successes is as well to this really embodied sensation and knowing I'm good at this. It's like I can really serve people, and I also invested in myself. That was also another success, because that's not an easy one, and I think everybody can relate. It's like when it comes to like self-growth or own care, sometimes we struggle a little bit investing in that due to different reasons. but that was also a huge success for me to say, okay, I committed for a coaching program to get certified and to really commit to this path. So those are huge successes. Recent one was for me to say, hey, I'm like having my business and I'm going to go to Spain for 3 months, which before I was still in Germany at home working, like focused on that. And then allowing myself, not even allowing myself, but knowing that I got my back. That was so huge when I went to Spain. So I was like, yay. And to be honest, all of the clients that I have, they are, in a way, they show these successes to me. It's like such a mirror back, and it's so beautiful to witness. So each one of my clients, they really are my success stories in a way. Yeah. And I mean, before that life of coaching, like, of course, like the entire me traveling, that was a major success, breaking free from what everyone else around me said and not buying into other people's stories of who I had to be or what I should do. And that was massive too. And again, it's like, it's all the different storylines. Now there's so many of them, and I love celebrating them now, which is so huge. But like, just this fact that like with the eating disorder, it's not an eating disorder is like per se, it's like how it's defined. I don't think that it's going away, because it's a protective mechanism that really supports us. Like these eating habits, they are here, maybe not the disorder, but the eating habits, they are here to protect us from something that we are going through that we don't really want to fully feel. And just having that peace with my own emotions and feeling into them and being at ease with them and really loving them, even the negative ones, that's also a success. So it's kind of like there are lots of inner successes, and they are manifesting into the outer world for sure.
Oh, and I'm sitting here and I have so many additional questions that I'd like to ask because one, amazing that you can celebrate, because I know as a coach, when you ask people to celebrate their internal and external successes, we naturally go, oh no, oh no, we're not going to celebrate. So I want to celebrate you because that's awesome. And then I think, let's dance. Woo! I think a big pull, and I know I'm going to go off track a little bit here, is you say your greatest success is self-belief. Mm-hmm. So to the listeners, I have done a lot of work on self-belief, so I have my own definition on what that looks like and what it feels like. If I pass that on to you, someone who's like, right, okay, I have no self-belief, I don't love myself, I am using food as a way to protect myself and protecting my emotions. What does self-belief look like and feel like to you?
That's a really nice question. So what it feels like, it's very interesting. It's kind of like I can explain it from the before and after. So before, when I was really doubting myself and not believing myself, I felt like that I wasn't like this straight, but like I had like a dent here that was constantly like pressing here. And it's like I couldn't fully breathe. And I was really like, even the body language was that I was making myself small. And I even have stories like I literally, when I trace back into like, because that's what we do in coaching, we go back to inner child and stuff like that, which is amazing. But I had this story, I'm too small. I'm too small to get that, or I'm too small to achieve something or to speak in a certain way. And so this sensation of I'm too small is, I know that was more thought than a sensation, but I'm doing the movement. It's like really making myself small and having this stone, this clutch, this really not nice sensation in the belly, oftentimes when I was trying to do things. And so that was how it felt for me when I didn't have self-belief. And that was very much linked to my thoughts, like being very criticizing, very just doubting myself, like not good enough, you can't do this, am I going to be able to do this, I'm too small, like all of these storylines. And now I would say how it feels is it's kind of like a two-layered thing. It's like most of the time by now it feels very wide here, like it feels very, if there was a word that would describe it, it's empowered. It's this like, I know that I have my back no matter what's happening. I will be able to be there and to take care of myself and to enjoy life and to create the life that I want. So that is, I know that's thoughts again, but you feel it even when I say it. It's kind of like this aperture. It's like, it's here. It's like, it's just this knowing who I am and trusting that. And the reason why I said it's too late is because the thing is that the thoughts still come in. The sensation that I described, it will also still come in. It's like a constant visitor, and that's okay. Because actually what self-belief to me means is believing in myself that I know what I need to do in any moment. So if there's doubts coming up, I know how to take care of myself. If this sensation comes up with this, I know I'm like, oh, I see you, I hear you, I can see that you're nervous right now, or that you are scared, and that little child is active again. And it's like, it's okay, I love you, I got your back, and no matter what, I'm going to be here. And that to me is what self-belief is. It's not necessarily around always showing off to the outside, hey, I'm always 100%. No, you will never be 100%. I'll never be 100% in terms of like always believing in myself. There will be moments in which I doubt, but I see them now as very sweet beings that are here to show me something and that are here to protect me. It's like, for me, a lot of these thought patterns, somatic patterns that we've learned over the years, they are really here to protect us. And how sweet is that? It's like so sweet. So anytime when self-doubt now kicks in, I'm like, oh, I might sometimes still get a little bit hooked to it, but then after a while I'm like, oh yeah, right, there she is again, and she just needs some attention, and she just needs someone to let her know that she's totally like she totally got this, like she's fine, she's good, she can do anything. That to me is self-belief. Very long answer.
But so beautiful. And I'm sitting here, and again, the key things that came up for me there is one, that's your definition, but you so perfectly define the physical feeling, and that as you're going, that self-belief comes through. It's like your chest opens. It's like, yeah. That's how I felt as you were defining your meaning of self-belief. And again, to the people listening, that it's natural that it will visit those feelings of tightness and that inner child telling you that you might be a bit anxious, but it's never 100%. And your words are so valuable. And I know that I'm feeling it, I'm sensing it, that you truly believe and are fully embracing that definition. And thank you for sharing that. And whether it's long-winded or not, I personally didn't think so, because there was a very powerful message that threaded through that. So thank you very much.
Mm.
So it blows my mind how quick time goes. So I would like to now ask you, out of all your journeys, your amazing successes of self-belief, what message would you give to those in the world in terms of self-doubters, those that are already believing that they're achieving so much, yet are curious to see what happens if they step outside their comfort zone, because we can be living an incredible life, but still have so much more we can achieve. So I want to pass over to you. What message would you give the world if you could say anything at all?
What message would I give the world? One thing that I keep on saying often, and that comes up often, is it's kind of like the vision behind my project Work with Wisdom. It's like there are as many definitions of work and life as there are human beings on earth. And I really truly believe that. And I think it's not even about what do other people do, or what do other people not do, what's outside of the box. It's more about thinking, what is your definition of everything? And for that, what I find powerful is to connect with the body. For me, the body has been the main messenger of everything. So if you get to connect with your body, it's always telling you. It's always here to show you, where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? What is next, and what sparks your joy? And it is possible. It's so possible to live a life and a work that fully fulfills you, that energizes you, that is really in that connection, that feels easy and fun and light and joyful. And of course there will be moments that don't feel like that, and that's part of it. So I think that to me is like this, just transmitting that belief. And for me also, next to that, another message that keeps on coming back is really to know two, actually. One is, because I'm focused on work, so for all the ones that are stressed out, or one of my focuses is work, that are stressed out at work, or that are not happy with work, or that feel that they have to constantly push. For me, like a major click in my journey was that I am the only one that has my unique mission. As I said, everyone has their own unique definition of work. So, and we all have something to give to the world. And we're the only ones that can give exactly that unique way of being to the world. And so if you don't take care of yourself, that unique mission, it won't happen. And that would be so, like, I don't know. It just makes me sad when I think about that already. It's like, yeah, if you take care of yourself, you're actually doing your work. And this is why I always say to people that are very stressed at work, it's like, self-care is part of your job. It's like, it's integral to it. No matter if you're employed, if you're self-employed, it's the same. Self-care is part of your work, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to do what you do. And what you do is magic. What all of us do is magic if we are connected to that essence of ours. And then the last bit was really, and I mentioned that already, to see all of the stories that you've created, all of the bad sensations that are coming up, all of the blocks that you are experiencing, they are your protectors. And there's something underneath it. It's not about getting rid of the block and ignoring the block. No, my trainer always says, they're not in the way, they're the way. And so really understanding that underneath that protection, there is something that wants to be integrated into your being, into your body, that wants to come out and leave and be released and create movement. We're not meant to be stuck. Things are not meant to be stuck inside of us as human beings. We're meant to constantly transform. I think those would be like my three main keys. I could keep on talking on and on and on and give more messages to people, but I think those are the main ones.
I think they're very powerful messages. And again, you've just come up with so much wisdom. And I know that there's going to be people listening that resonate with everything that you have said, or at least something that you shared, and definitely got knowledge from your words. I know you're going through a very, very exciting time at this moment in time regarding business. And I'd like to just say, have you got a message or want to let people know what's going on? I will be sure to share all your information and how they can connect with you in the comment box below. If you've got a message, then please share.
Meaning a message in terms of like what's happening in my business, how people can reach out. Okay. So what's going on there? So I really love bringing people on board, especially with, you've experienced it. You've experienced one of my workshops, the TRE workshop. tension and trauma release exercises for the ones that need the definition for that. And I really love bringing people into connection with that tool because it's so powerful. It's a body-oriented tool. And I guarantee you that most of you haven't experienced that just yet. And this is something that I love supporting people with. And the first session is always like an invitation. So if you feel the calling, if you resonated with what I shared, just reach out and ask me, Marlene, when is your next TRE workshop? And I will definitely invite you to it. There are other workshops that will happen. I have like combinations between coaching and TRE as well. So you just might want to keep on like reaching out to me or seeing on my social media profiles what kind of workshops I have going on. And then lastly, but definitely not least, I do support people one-on-one, which I so love. And it's so transformative because it really is bridging all the magnificent tools that I've learned into one journey. And it's all around embodiment and connecting to your body and living life from that connection. So if you're interested in that, reach out as well. The first session is always a clarity session. That is a complementary session for you to get to know how I coach and how I would work with you. So reach out and we make that happen.
You will make it happen and you will change and inspire people's lives. And I just want to say a big thank you once again for sharing your inspiring story. And I look forward to watching you grow into an incredible individual. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you for having me.